Lately, I've been thinking about the notion of wave time and how time is not always linear, that it might be cyclical, shifting, looping back on itself, like what it feels like when surfing on a wave. As I contemplated the idea of wave time, I wondered if that philosophy or feeling could be applied to graphic design, art, writing, teaching, or any of the other practices I do. In February and March of 2024, I presented an exhibition at Lesley University focused on a body of work called On the Consideration of a Black Grid. This project evolved out of cyclical investigations in BIPOC-centered design history, scholarship and education, reflective writing, graphic design, and visual art. A number of the pieces started off as iterative, wave-like jam sessions with one of my former students and polymode designers, Edgar Casadin. The work spanned motion graphics, collaged, works on paper, ebbs and flows into woven textiles, and vinyl cut wall drawings. In October, I did a print workshop at the University of Hartford where the work will become an edition of a silkscreen print. The workshop is a collaboration with printmaking faculty and students and has an over 40-year history and has featured artists like Ed Ruscha and James Rosenquist. This print will be featured in a solo show of the work at the University of Hartford in March. Another aspect of my practice is the collective studio Polymode. Working there does sometimes feel like going on a surf trip. It takes a lot of preparation, but you never have to go out alone. This year, our studio worked on 11 different books, including a book for Micheline Thomas's exhibition at Yale University Art Gallery that won one of AIJ's 50 Books, 50 Covers awards for 2023. Portrait of an Unlikely Space featured Black 18th century miniature portraits with contemporary artists responding to them. Inspired by the gilded framing of the portraits, we also designed the show's exhibition graphics in collaboration with Micheline Thomas's studio. As a studio, we're interested in the design translation between an exhibition design space and a book space. We also worked on the exhibition and catalog for Sergeant Claude Johnson at the Huntington Library and Gardens. Sergeant Claude Johnson lived from the Harlem Renaissance until the Civil Rights Movement and was an amazing multidisciplinary sculptor, painter, and artist in many forms. Another book that stood out because of its use of inclusive design history and research practices was Now You See Me for Charlene Premph. It's a 100-year history of Black design, architecture, fashion, product design, and many other disciplines. Well, look at the time. Sometimes our wave gets really fast. We didn't just design books. This is a website for the social justice real estate organization, the Guild, based in Atlanta. Oh, and one more thing. We spent a year designing an internal diversity, equity, and belonging campaign called Airfinity for Airbnb in all of our spare time.